Hi, welcome to the video. So another kind of random one based off exercise and why I don't take steroids. So, one of the main obvious reasons to why I don't take them is simply because I'm not at a certain level to be needing them. If people saw me, they'll say, obviously, I'm natural, which is obviously the case. I know people might say the stomach at times kind of unnatural. That's just because I'm fat, because I can be fat at times. That's just the way it is. But in terms of the build, I'm fine with how it is at the moment. And I wouldn't say maximum potential, nowhere near that. So that's one of the reasons to why I wouldn't take steroids. In terms of the muscle, I'm fine with that. Sometimes the veins show, I don't know if it really shows much, like a line there. And then sometimes might be some elsewhere. I don't really check too much. Weird lump things sticking there. I don't get those. And then same here, a few kind of like lumps and stuff. So to be honest, I'm fine with that. The good thing is with these veins, they don't show all the time. Whereas I'm sure people that take steroids, I think that increases more veins showing, vascularity. I might be wrong, but it's just because I seem to normally associate bodybuilders and people that aren't natural with having all these weird veins popping out everywhere. That just seems to be the case. I think there's a vein somewhere. Sometimes it shows, sometimes it doesn't. But regardless of that, I would say I'm not in a position to be taking steroids, because if I did take them, based off what I'm eating right now, based off how I'm training as I am right now, there wouldn't be any point. It wouldn't really lead to anything. It'd be basically a waste of time, to be honest. Maybe it might improve a little bit or something, but for the most part of it, I don't really need it. Unless I was at that stage where whatever I was lifting, I was getting like really to the point where I was really struggling, or I was really sore, so I had to keep resting, and it was becoming annoying, so I couldn't be consistent. Those sort of reasons, and obviously to gain more size, then yeah, okay, then maybe you take steroids, so then you can surpass the max potential you've reached. But as I said, I'm not at that stage, so I don't need to be thinking along that type of line. Now, any other reasons? Probably just the idea that it's yet another thing you got to do, and in a way, another thing you've got to maintain. Like when you get these different cycles and stuff, taking things here and there, you don't just do it as like a one-off. Most people that go into taking these sort of stuff, in a way they're kind of committed to doing it, they're doing it for a reason. I don't really have a reason to be taking them. So it's not exactly professional, that. And if I did take them, then what's the real reason behind it? There isn't one, so it's pointless. It's not really meaningful. Whereas you get certain people maybe in a competition or doing some kind of sport or whatever, which allows the use of these sort of stuff, then obviously there's a reason why you'd be using them. And like when you get the Mr. Olympia and all that more extreme type stuff with lifting weights and building the body in certain ways and gaining size, obviously you've got to take steroids. It's just the way the competition is. Not every single competition, but like the main one, all of them aren't natural, so it's just the way it is. I think another thing is maybe the side effects, which would put me off. I don't know how many of them are true, something like hair loss or something, and then certain levels within the body going down. I think it's testosterone levels going down, especially if you overused steroids, like abuse and overuse of all that, all kinds of stuff, and then you've got to be on it forever then. But I think if you keep it controlled, it won't get to that. But still, there'll be still side effects here and there. Maybe more aggression, higher aggression levels. You've heard of roid rage. I think that would be a good idea for me. Wouldn't really be a good thing. So yeah, mainly it's side effects that would put me off from taking that sort of stuff. Probably because of how it's done, like injections and all that. It just seems too messy. Too far-fetched, but that's the way it is. That's the way it's done. And like I said, based off what I do, how I train, I'm just not in a position where I need to take them. But in terms of my opinion on like other people that take them, you know, it's not really much of a problem the way I see it, because if someone wants to take them, then they can take them, you know, as long as they're not gonna lie afterwards and then lead other people on into like a false sense of hope. You know, providing they're honest, then there's no issue. I think anytime when it becomes a bit of an issue there is obviously when people start taking stuff they shouldn't be in a competition which doesn't allow that sort of stuff to be used. Yeah, then it's obviously unfair playing grounds and gets very messy. But if you're in a competition where you're allowed to use it or you have to use it, then you know it's more fair in a way. So yeah. And you know, you get all these people here and there, general public, normal people, issuing all this positive advice out. Do this, do that, do this if you want, do that if you want. Don't let other people stop you or ignore what other people think. And yet they're the sort of people that where if you followed their advice, or if an individual did or followed through with something they wanted to do or be, all those people issuing all that positive advice, at times quite a few of them can be hypocrites because you end up criticising you for finally doing it, for doing something. So you know, it's kind of like a lose-lose situation. You can't always trust humans, that's definitely for certain. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, in terms of steroids, I could compare steroids to a video game cheats code. And one reason, or an overall reason to why I wouldn't want to take steroids, why I wouldn't want to take all this other type of unnatural type stuff, simply because, like with a video game, you enter in a cheats code which might increase, let's say, storage space, increase capacity of one's backpack, so you can carry more items, collect more things, resources, whatever. But once that cheats code is deactivated or turned off, all that progress along the way is lost. So like with steroids, you take steroids for so long, you do all your training and stuff, and then let's say you suddenly stop training, or you really tuned it down and you didn't take any more steroids, you know, at some point in time, you're just going to lose everything or lose quite a lot of what you've got. Because like that cheats code is no longer activated anymore. Unless you activate it back again, then you'll get back to it. So I guess that's another reason why it puts me off. I don't always like going all into certain things because all what you lose is a bit disappointing at the end of the day. So yeah, I think that basically sums it all up.